A few weeks ago, one of my videos blew up. Out of nowhere, it crossed hundreds of thousands of views, brought in thousands of new subscribers, and it's changed the way that I think about my channel. But getting a viral video isn't what I thought it would be. It didn't fix my doubts, and it didn't fix how I felt about myself. So in this video, I want to break it all down. How it happened, the numbers, what it did to my channel, and most importantly, what it did to me. So this whole journey began when I uploaded this video called I Never Wanted a Job. So here's the analytics for the video that is the culprit for the growth of my channel. And you can see it has got 811,000 views since I uploaded it. It has got 32.2 thousand watch time hours. 5.7 thousand subscribers have come from this video alone, and it's generated £619.43. And here, when I first uploaded this video, you can see that I did not get many views and I didn't think much of the video. I thought that it was just going to be another flop and that I was just going to move on, and I continued making videos. And it wasn't until around the 14-day mark when it considerably started to rapidly get views, and it completely changed the way that I think about the channel in that moment. It was completely overwhelming. I was suddenly getting thousands of comments. I was suddenly getting lots of different points of views, different types of comments, people who said that the video deeply personally touched them, and then people calling me out, telling me that I'm a liar. It made me feel on the edge. I felt very tense, getting all of these points of view thrown at me all at once. And even right now, the video has been out for over 40, just coming up to 48 days now, and it's got 18,000 views, 806 in the past 48 hours. And so here's to give you a real breakdown. Around hour to hour, it does really fluctuate between the high 200s, and then suddenly, for some reason, it goes up to 743. And then as of right now, as of recording this video, it's at 164 views. So people are still watching it. I thought the video had flatlined at the 700,000 mark, and I never really expected it to go up to 800,000, but for whatever reason, it's going up there. So why did this video do so well for me? I'm not really sure, but people keep telling me that the title was a universal truth and that it's something that we all feel. Perhaps it was also the timing. There's a lot of other people doing these sort of commentary videos, and perhaps it was suggested alongside someone else's video that also blew up. And for whatever reason, people seem to really like this snowy thumbnail. If I go to reach, you can see that it says I have a 7.4% click-through rate. On that first day that I uploaded it, well, it was actually 5%. On the following day, it shot up to 10.8%. And over time, it's been slowly going down. And it's had a little bump recently. But on the whole, it's been on the way down. It's had 5.6 million impressions, which is just absolutely insane to me that YouTube would push a video out that much. That is an insane amount of impressions. Looking at the engagement, the average watch time isn't that high. People watch not even about half of the video. It says right here 39.9% of the video before they have heard enough of me. But this isn't the only impact that it's had. Let's look at how it affected the rest of the channel. So this is what's happened to my channel in the past 90 days. To give you some context, before any of this happened, I was getting around 140, well, about 100 views to 600 views. It varies greatly. But anywhere between 100 to 2,000 views, or even 3,000 views, depending on what's going on. Some of my videos, I would have considered that a fantastic day. 2,970 views was a lot of views for me before any of this happened. And what was I uploading around this time? So I made a video about some shoes. This was my first COD commentary there, the magic of early mornings. And that gave me a little bit of a bump of views there. And then that's when I last did my analytic audit, when I last looked at my analytics, some more commentary videos, and this is the point when I uploaded I Never Wanted a Job, and some more commentary videos. And you can see after that I just carried on making COD commentaries and whatever I felt like making. And then suddenly here, February 15th is when the peak starts to happen. And the most amount of views that I got in one day was 97,546 views. So that was on February 25th. Let's look at how much that generated me. February 25th. So that was £76.54. Now, the interesting thing with the earnings is I Never Wanted a Job. Yes, that generated, let's have a look. That was £619. However, I also released a video, a longer form video, where I talked about gaming and nostalgia. That got 158,000 views, but it generated £376.92. So this video actually, in terms of viewer to monetary gain, generated more, because I think it's because it's a much longer video. But the interesting thing is, I think this video in particular blew up because I released it around the same time, so it sort of rode that explosion of views that the I Never Wanted a Job video brought in. And the thing is, I used pretty much the same thumbnail, but this wasn't always the case. If I go to details, there was a thumbnail test. And I actually spent a lot of time making this thumbnail where I'm holding two retro controllers that says I want to go back. And just as a test, I threw up the exact same thumbnail as I Never Wanted a Job and wrote I want to go back at the top as well. And clearly people liked that one so much more. So that's why the thumbnail is exactly the same. I actually intended it to be this one because it felt so much more relevant. But to the audience, the Call of Duty footage was actually much more relevant. And that's why, when you look at my channel, this is what you see. You see slices of gameplay, because that's actually what wins on the thumbnail. And I do a thumbnail test every time, because I want to try and package these videos in a way that people like. And this is a great way of testing it. So going back to those 90 days, when those views kicked in, and the subscribers, you can see that the ad revenue generated from that was £1,303. Inevitably, the views ended up dropping off. So it's brought me back down to a new baseline. On the Sunday 9th of March, I got 8,846 views. And it sort of fluctuates between that range, 12,000, 14,000 there. And now it's up to 15,000 the past couple of days. But that's because that I Never Wanted a Job video is getting a little bit of a fluctuation. I expect it to go back down once that sort of video stops getting pushed out so much. Oh, and I've just realised I've just crossed the 17,000 subscriber mark. So let's celebrate that right now in this video. But this isn't the most interesting part of this whole graph. I'll show you the most interesting, to me, is the lifetime graph. Look at this. Look at these views going all the way back to March 20th, 2014 with an whopping, March 15th, 2014. I got 4 views that day. Look at this flat line. Just look at this, getting double-digit views here for years and years and years. We're up to 2020 already. This is 11 years on the timeline. 99% of my views came this year. So that just shows you right there. Never stop making. Always keep making. I mean, if you're in this game, you want to make YouTube videos, never stop. You never know when something's going to completely change your channel, when people might start watching your videos. People aren't watching these videos, however, that I made 5+ years ago. No one cares about that. They only care about the videos I've made in the past month. And it's just interesting to see that the majority of what I've done here ended up in the past couple of days. And to look at the ad revenue as well, there's a tiny little bump that you can see here where I earned a couple pennies in 2017. I was briefly monetized back then with my pitiful amount of views, and promptly they changed the requirements to actually get into the ad revenue program, so I was taken back off it again and only got back into it in October of 2024. So all these years of creating, and most of the progress has been made in the past couple of months. This surge of views coming to my channel added an immense amount of pressure that I felt like I needed to keep up with the amount of people looking at my channel, and I poured myself into making as many videos as I possibly could. However, there were a few minor comments that gave pushback to what I was doing, which made me feel very anxious about the whole thing, and that's when I want to get into how it's affected my mental health. I found myself addictively checking the analytics and the comments. What are people saying? how are they reacting to the videos? And then sometimes I would release a video, particularly one where I talked about work again, and people would start calling me a charlatan, someone who's just grifting, making all this up just to get some views. And that actually really affected my mental health because I felt personally attacked from these comments, because I'm putting myself out there, being very vulnerable through these videos. These negative comments really hit me personally, and I almost doubted, what was I doing here? Should I even bother keep making videos? And this was just the case from a couple of comments. And there are hundreds of comments from people saying how they were touched by the videos, how they related to the videos and felt that they were similar to me through listening to what I said. But it's those couple of negative comments that really stand out to me. And I think that's because naturally we've all got a bit of a negative bias. So those negative comments do stand out to me, but especially so because I'm being vulnerable through these videos. And it did give me that self-doubt. I did question, and I talked to my fiance and I said, should I even keep doing this? And then she said, absolutely, you should keep doing it. It's what you wanted to do. And it's funny how just a couple of comments can throw the whole thing into doubt. Like, why am I doing this? But the truth is, I do want to keep making videos. But those couple of comments, they do really get to me. It did make me feel very self-conscious in a way, having all these eyeballs on the channel. It did throw into question, what should I do? What do people actually want to hear from me? And it did fill me with self-doubt. One of the huge positives I've taken from this is I've actually done 2 live streams, and those live streams have been immensely positive. I've been able to talk with the community. We've been having deep discussions on live stream, and overall, it's been an immensely positive experience. Yesterday, I did a live stream, and the theme of it was all about fear, but we ended up talking about all parts of life, and I had a really fun time. And it's nice to have a place where we can all be real with each other. And that's why I find some of those comments, they affect me so much, because I'm just being real with you guys, being myself. And the thing is, you can't make everyone happy. That's the truth. There's always going to be people that don't like what you have to say or don't like what you do. But it's how do you deal with that? And that's actually a big lesson that I've been trying to learn throughout this whole journey of making YouTube videos, especially so now. One thing I would like to do going forward is actually do some sort of collaboration with some other YouTubers in this space, but I'm not really sure how to go about doing that. I'd love to do more live streams going forward as well. Those have been immensely positive. And if you'd like to hear a throwback about how I felt before any of this took off, I've got my January analytics audit right here. Take a listen to that and see the difference that this channel has had over the past couple of months. Thanks for listening.